Hi, Chris Beausoleil. Come at you from Sydney, New South Wales in our little unit here at 126 Croydon Avenue. A building almost entirely owned by Anglican Church members, housing Moore Theological Bible students. And many of those students are computer criminals. And even though their twisted ethics justifies their behavior, they justify their behavior with twisted ethics and really immoral rationale. They still commit crimes and they still break into people's machines, phones, computers, and NVRs. I've got in this example is an example of how they've corrupted our phone to create false file times. And the reason for that is because I'm gathering data on them. I've been trying to gather data on them since I moved here because they've been committing crimes against us since we've moved here. And crimes like wireless attacks, deauthentication attacks, evil twin attacks, breaking and entering remote, breaking and entering physically into our unit. And none of these things I'll admit to, and no matter how hard you try, it just seems these people are too connected and too powerful, and they've got too many powerful friends, and nothing gets done. This is an example. This happened recently, but this same exact thing happened on my computer when I was trying to back up data. They falsified file creation times. And I think it's kind of funny because one day I was out trying to tell everybody about this, and I was like in the courtyard talking to one of the people in this building, and he's of historical significance here in Australia. He's a big time guy. He's really important, and I was telling him what they were doing, and I said, look, you can't falsify file times. A file time is created by the system. You can't falsify it. So I think one of the computer criminals, the computer scientist living right next door, he was walking into his unit when he heard me say that. I pointed right at him. He heard me and he chuckled and he laughed. He thought it was funny, or he thought it was funny that I was in such a state of dismay. Regardless, it's pretty revolting how he responded, and now he's doing exactly the same thing I said, falsifying timestamps and corrupting data by falsifying timestamps. So here's some folders I created, and I put the time on just before I created it. So here I created this one at 2 o'clock, and the timestamp was at 2:01, which is a minute, almost 2 minutes difference. Here's a timestamp at 3:30. I created this folder at 3:33, and the timestamp was at 3:34. And it goes down. Here's a 5 minutes difference, and here's a 4 minute difference, and here's a 2 minute difference, 4:34, 4:32, and this one I never wrote on because that was before I realized that I wanted to do this test. So you can see that it's not constant, it's random file creation times, and that's to even further decrease the validity of the data. And it also happens when you create screenshots. So here's a screenshot I took, and I wrote down the time, which is 3:38, and the variation, the timestamp was given as 4 minutes. The timestamp was 3:34, and that's 4 minutes off. I just can't believe these people are doing this. It's insane. They're supposed to be going to Bible college, and all they do all day long is this kind of crap. Of course, there's many people involved here, and it's not just 1 or 2 people, it's 4 or 5. And the thing is they're thrilled. It's something for them to really unite on, and it binds their Christian brotherhood, and using me as a common enemy, it binds their Christian brotherhood, and it's something to fight for and gets them ready to go out there and fight bad Muslims. Ooh, so fantastic, so fun, so exciting. Oh, doing the good Christian brother soldier thing. Ooh, you guys are fantastic. And they all grin and walk by and sneer when they're committing a crime, and then when they get caught, they're like little chicken shits. They got their tails between their legs, and they run to their political friends, and they run to their, church leaders, and help me, help me, help me. A bunch of little, it's disgusting. So here is a bunch of timestamps or screen captures I created. I created a folder to put them in because I wanted to compare how the times are changing. Every time you open up an image, it changes. The timestamp changes. When I moved all of them into the folder, they were all given the same timestamp. 424, 424, 424, 424, 424, 424, 424. They're all given the same timestamp. And because I moved them all into the folder at 424. But of course, the timestamps are completely different because I created the timestamps over a period of 2 minutes, or I created the screenshots over a period of 2 minutes. So this is what I'm talking about. Here's another example. Here's a folder with a couple screenshots in it, and what I did was I touched a screenshot, and here's the time I did it at, 2:54 this morning. That's a couple hours ago now, but 2:54. And then I touched that one, and look, it changed. See? 1:47, and I opened it, and then I went back. The time is 2:54, and then I went back. The time is still 2:54, and it changed to 1:48. So see, they've corrupted the timestamps on the phone. So no image that I take, no file that I take, no photo that I take has the correct timestamp on it. Now that is completely criminal, because this is my personal data. They have no right to do that. But the reason they're doing that is because I caught them breaking into our house, committing crimes, and now they're trying to falsify data. It's insane. Nobody will. Here's a perfect example. Now this really bothers me because I'm going to tell you this, and then they're going to correct the system. They'll fuck the system up now so it doesn't work anymore. You watch. Here is the name of the Windows phone gives the file when you create an image. It creates the file. Here's the time, 8:56, and here's the date. Now look at the time, 8:56:52. That's not the same time as the timestamp given, 8:56:33. Look at the time, 8:56:52. The timestamp given. The correct time is 8:56:51. Look at the timestamp, 9:04. 8:56:51. 9:04:01. And see, it was the same file and the same timestamp was given to it. So the script or whatever they're doing is clever enough to see that these two files are related, created at the same time. So it slaps the same false time on it because they were both created at the same time. And that's exactly what happened over here. All these files were slapped into the folder at the same time. They were all given the same timestamp. They've accessed the phone. They've accessed this Windows phone, which is supposed to be proprietary, and they've changed the behavior of the phone. Either they've accessed the actual code, which is supposed to be proprietary, which means they've got connections in the government, and they've got connections to Windows code, which is pretty freaking high up, or they have just somehow added a payload that screwed up the Windows behavior, and it goes that way all the way down. 904. See, 905:14, 904:01, 904:01, and 908:37, 911. The time given is 911. 11. So here is the latest thing that happened. What I'm doing is I create files, and these are all images or video that I created, and it worked fine. I compressed it, and then I moved it from the compressed application folder to this one, and it was fine until today. So they've done something today too as well. I have no images anymore. So now they've done something else to the system. I heard him get up, and I heard him walking around when I got up, and they know that I get up at night and do this, so he took that advantage that time, and he must have dropped another payload in and done something else, because now I'm not getting any thumbnails. I was getting them for a week, for 2 weeks, for the entire time I started doing this, which has been about a week now. I was getting thumbnails, and here they are for the videos that I can. And then these ones here, no thumbnails. So something else has been done. What it is that they've done, I don't know, but something else has been done because something has changed in the system. So that's really It's just unbelievable that these people are doing this. It's unbelievable that they claim to be Christians. It's unbelievable that these Anglicans are going to move into churches and going to be pretending that they're good people and pretending to lead their churches, and pretending to go into the government there, if they get government jobs or whatever, go into their government jobs and pretend they're really good people, and then use their Christianity as a badge of trust so that people are expected to trust them when they're doing stuff like this. And falsifying data, falsifying file creation times. See, 147. And it's shameful and it's dishonorable. It's worse than that. It's just repulsive and disgusting. So if I were you, I'd reconsider my thoughts about your church and the people in it. They may not be as nice as you think they are, and they may very well be going into your computer and stealing all your stuff without you even knowing it.